Coming up on Fulton Today, the new year brings a new look to the Fulton County Board of Commissioners. We'll introduce you to your new representatives. And we'll take a look at the county's financial and legislative agendas for 2015. Fulton Today is next.
From the Government Center in downtown Atlanta, you're watching Fulton Today with Shania Chavis.
Welcome everyone and Happy New Year. I'm Shania Chavis. This 2015, there is a brand new Fulton County Board of Commissioners, and already the elected officials are joining the county's top staff and getting straight to work this week. FGTV's Priscilla Ortega joins us now with the story. And Priscilla, I understand there is a lot of county business to get done.
That's right, Shania. There is a lot to get done this year, and it all kicks off this week as the new board is sworn in. And in anticipation of all that needs to get done in 2015, many Fulton departments are already in high gear. And mission number one is the Fulton County 2015 budget.
We would like to ask Fulton County Board of Commissioners to please continue to allocate funds to the Housing and Human Service Grants Program for 2015 and beyond.
We do appreciate the things that has taken place there, but it's still a little bit more improvement that we need at Aviation.
Before 2015 even arrived, dozens of taxpayers had already expressed their desires for this year's financial plan. From senior services to programs for the youth, residents packed Fulton's Assembly Hall to voice what they want funded in the 2015 budget.
For those budgets that we are required to advertise, I want to make sure that we're clear that we'll be advertising the general fund and the South Fulton Tax District.
By state law, the budget must be finalized by the end of January, so the new board has less than a month to make a decision on what services will be funded and by how much.
Radio 1244.
Meanwhile, a number of major county projects are still in process to be completed this year, like the Emergency Communications Radio System upgrade, a plan that will help to decrease response times when residents call 911. And there are plans in the works for a new fire station, new libraries, and enhanced programs for seniors, children, and youth, and the arts. But of course, all of the plans are contingent on funding in the 2015 budget. Shania, this new year, many residents will have new representation on the board, either because of new district lines or new faces. Coming up, we'll introduce you to the new Board of Commissioners in our district-by-district coverage. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Ortega.
Thank you, Priscilla. With the 2015 General Assembly back in session next week, Fulton is clear on its legislative priorities. Among the items to address under the Gold Dome, additional state resources and support to expand justice reform. The board is also seeking more funding for the Grady Health System and for regional transit.
During the General Assembly, they will consider hundreds of pieces of legislation on issues related to public safety, elections, transportation, any number of issues.
Fulton also has a list of federal legislative priorities. That list includes grant assistance for housing, jobs, and law enforcement agencies, and any legislation designed to limit the county's home rule.
We just encourage residents to stay informed, to monitor legislation. We will be providing updates throughout the legislative session on pieces and laws that could affect Fulton County residents and Fulton County government. But there are many other issues, and we encourage residents to just stay involved and stay informed.
Now, you can contact your state representatives and county commissioners to let them know what priorities are important to you. New property owners can start filing now for a break on their property taxes. Now, it's called Homestead Exemption, and it keeps part of the value of your home from being taxed. David Fitzgibbon is the chief tax appraiser here in Fulton County. Sir, welcome to Fulton Today.
Thank you, Sonia. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, first things first, let's remind everybody exactly how this homestead exemption process works.
Homestead exemption is a dollar amount that's deducted from the assessed value that gives homeowners who actually live in their properties as of January 1st as their primary residence A tax break. The $30,000 is the basic figure. There are increased or enhanced exemptions for elderly or disabled or veterans. For those exemptions, we have to have a lot more information. A lot of them are income related and age related. But it gives you a tax break because the normal formula is the appraised value times 40% of that value, which is the assessed value. And all of the homestead deductions come off on top of the assessed value. So if your property assessed value is $30,000 or less, then you end up paying no county taxes. So they are a benefit to homeowners who actually live in the properties.
And David, what is the average savings for homeowners in Fulton County?
The average saving is around $340 to $350, and that would depend on the type of exemption, of course, but the average homestead, based on the basic homestead exemption, is around $340, $350.
And the Fulton County Board of Commissioners raised the millage rate last year. What does that mean for homestead exemption?
What that means for all properties, including those with homestead exemption, is if you exceed the minimum or the maximum homestead exemption, then your tax bill will show an increased amount if the value did not change. If we reduce the value, then the amount would be a little less. If the value increased, then the 17% would be on the increased value and would end up being more than the increased value. So anyone who did not, that did have the maximum homestead exemption would see a slight increase in their property tax bill.
And finally, sir, what is the most important thing that homeowners should remember involving this whole homestead exemption process?
The most important thing is that you must file a homestead exemption no later than April 1st of any given year in which you own the property. If you buy the property after April 1st, you may still appeal that value. If the prior owner appeals it, you may still apply for it, but you will receive the homestead exemption that was on that property if you purchase it after January the 1st, but you must apply for the following year in order to receive it, or we will remove that homestead once the property is sold. So the most important thing to remember is you can file for a basic homestead anytime during the year, but if you do not file by April 1st, you will not receive that exemption for that tax year. So by April 1st, 2015, if you have not filed, you won't get the exemption for 2015. You will get it for 2016 if you file after April 1st. One of the other things I would like to add is that all filings for basic homestead can be done online at our website. You can find that at fultonassessor.org or just search Fulton County Assessor. And you can also file for some of the exemptions and forward to us the necessary papers or support information that we would need. We do have 4 homestead centers that are downtown at 141 Pryor Street. We have one at the Stonewall Tail Service Center in South Atlanta, on Roswell Road up in the Sandy Springs area, and at Royal Street Drive in Alpharetta near the North Point Mall. Any of those locations can take any type of homesteads. And again, you can apply anytime throughout the year, but you must apply by April 1st in order to receive it for that tax year.
Chief Appraiser David Fitzgibbon, always great information. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here.
The deadline to apply for homestead exemption is April 1st. The tax assessor's office suggests you avoid the rush and start that process right now. You can get exemption forms on the tax assessor's website or any of their offices. If you need more information, you can go to their website or call that number right there on your screen. Fulton's former chief judge helps to swear in a brand new group of attorneys.
I swear that I will truly and honestly,
and the Constitution of the State of Georgia,
so help me God.
So help me God.
The Honorable Judge Cynthia Wright administered the oath to 120 women and men who completed their Juris Doctorate degree. All can now officially practice law in the state of Georgia. Attorney and keynote speaker Parag Shah offered important advice to the graduates.
You have everything you need to be successful. Your life experiences, the challenges that you face, your accomplishments and your instincts are why you are here today. Trust that. Trust in you.
Clerk of Superior Court Tina Robinson certifies and processes results from the Georgia Bar Exam. For many of the new attorneys and their families, it is a proud achievement.
Honestly, it just fills me with a spirit of joy Simply because this is not only a personal accomplishment, but this is a shared achievement with, my family, my community, my peers, just everyone along the way that helped me to get to this point. All of this is accumulation of the help that they gave me.
The new attorneys must take the oath in the circuit in which they intend to practice law. The ceremony was held in the Fulton County Government Center in downtown Atlanta. Representatives from the Democratic Republic of the Congo explore economic opportunities in Fulton County. Members from Central African Nation, formerly known as Zaire, met with Fulton commissioners and top staff. Economic Development Administrator Kenneth Dobson says partnerships with other countries is essential to the county's economic future.
As we seek new growth opportunities, new growth has to be imported. There's only a certain amount of inward growth that we can achieve. So to get the net new growth that we want, we have to reach beyond our political boundaries, and that takes us to the world.
A longtime county resident and CEO of an international corporation spoke on behalf of the visitors.
The purpose of our visit is to foster good relations between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Fulton County and Georgia in general, but Fulton County in particular.
Some of the economic opportunities discussed included international trade, solar power, and renewable energy. And when we come back, a look at the new county commissioners and the districts they represent. District by district coverage is next.
You're watching Fulton Today.
Fulton swears in its brand new Board of Commissioners this week. Here is a look at each representative and their districts in this week's District by District coverage. We begin with Chairman John Eves, the county's only at-large representative on the board. Chairman Eves is the District 7 Commissioner. As chair, Eves will represent the board on many county and regional boards and agencies like the Atlanta Fulton Public Library System Board of Trustees and the Atlanta Regional Commission. The chairman also serves on the Fulton County Budget Commission along with the county manager and the chief financial officer. Chairman Eves will also lead the county's Smart Justice Council made up of justice and civic partners. The District 1 representative is Commissioner Liz Hausman. The commissioner will cover North Fulton in the Johns Creek and Milton areas. Some of the county services and facilities in District 1 include the Northeast Rural Oaks Library, the North Fulton Regional Health Center, the Johns Creek Wastewater Facility, and the Johns Creek Environmental Campus, just to name a few. This will be Commissioner Hausman's second term on the Fulton County Board. Commissioner Bob Ellis is the District 2 representative. The first-time board member will also represent the North Fulton areas of Alpharetta, Milton, Roswell, and parts of Sandy Springs. County services and facilities in his district include the Dorothy C. Benson Senior Multipurpose Facility and the Roswell Neighborhood Senior Center, the North Fulton Service Center, and the Roswell and Alpharetta Library branches, just to name a few. In District 3, Commissioner Lee Morris is the new county representative. The first-time commissioner will serve the Buckhead community in Atlanta and portions of Sandy Springs. Some of the county facilities in District 3 include the Abernathy Arts Center as well as the Peachtree Library branch. Lee Morris is not new to government services. For years, he served as a City of Atlanta council member. Commissioner Joan P. Garner now represents the new District 4. The commissioner's district now includes portions of the City of Atlanta and the City of East Point. The county venues in District 4 now include the Mills and Darnell Senior Facilities, as well as the Central Library, the Fulton County Jail, and the Fulton Government Complex in downtown Atlanta. This is the second term for Garner as a Fulton County Commissioner. In the new District 5, Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. is the new representative. The commissioner will serve the areas of portions of unincorporated South Fulton and some of the City of Atlanta. The county services and venues in District 5 now include the Wolf Creek Library, the Wolf Creek Amphitheater, the Bowden Senior Facility, and Welcome All Park. This is the first term for Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. And finally, in the new District 6, Commissioner Emma I. Darnell returns for another year of service. The commissioner will represent a large area in unincorporated South Fulton as well as portions of the City of Atlanta. The longtime commissioner's service area and county facilities include Old National Highway, Burdett Park, New Beginning Senior Center, the Aviation Community Cultural Center, and Cliftondale, just to name a few. Now, you can catch your commissioners at work all this week with the rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And when we come back, new government regulations to help you keep your calorie count in check this new year. Stay with us.
You're watching Fulton Today.
Well, we're heading into the peak of flu season, but health professionals say it is still not too late to get the flu vaccine. Some residents started getting their shots in the fall. However, January and February is when most people are diagnosed with the flu each year. Fulton's Director of Health and Wellness says it's important for everybody to get vaccinated, especially those who are at greater risk.
We know that those who are very young, those who are older, and those who have chronic illnesses or whose immune systems are compromised really need to get the flu vaccine because their risk of hospitalization and death from the flu is greater.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says already the flu is widespread in Georgia, but the vaccine does offer protection against some strains of the flu. Last year, the CDC says that the flu vaccine prevented 7.2 million flu-associated illnesses. For more information on getting a vaccine, you can contact the Health and Wellness Department at 404-612-1211. Eating healthy is a choice, but kids at the Oak Hill Child and Adolescent Family Center are learning that it can also be fun. FGTV's Lynn Vaughn has our story.
From measuring to chopping and stirring, the Cooking with Choices classes are giving families the hands-on experience of making healthy meals.
Just realizing like the kitchen can actually be fun. It doesn't always have to be boring.
Commissioner Joan Garner handed out completion certificates for those who attended the 6-week series. The children are part of the Clubhouse for Youth, where teens learn strategies to help keep them safe and away from drugs.
They've learned how to create and cook their own meals from scratch on their own, and they've been given the opportunity to learn healthier and easy ways to cook and also do them on their own and not just have to buy everything or depend on help from their parents.
It would cost about $10 to make these meals for a family of 4.
With that, we try to teach fresh ingredients and tasting the rainbow. So with our vegetables and fruit, we try to look for a colorful rainbow of red, yellow, green, white, and purple vegetables. So when we're making our dishes, we focus on the vegetables and teaching about different vegetables, teaching children and kids about different vegetables, trying new vegetables such as spinach or mushrooms or bell pepper for the first time.
The classes also suggest cheaper alternatives like using frozen vegetables or low-sodium canned items. The program will continue to grow this year at the Oak Hill Child, Adolescent, and Family Center through partnerships with groups like the Choices Organization. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Lynn Vaughn.
Thank you very much. Well, if part of your New Year's goals is to eat better, listen up. Making sure that you eat the right amount of calories just got easier. By the end of the year, chain restaurants, grocery stores, and movie theaters in the U.S. will have to post how many calories are on each menu item. The Director of Cooperative Extension says it's important for people to know their calorie needs and intake.
If you are a certain weight, you should have 1,200 calories. If you are a little bit over the 1,200 calorie mark, you should have 15, 18, and 2,000 respectively. It depends on what your doctor says, but fitting in those categories there.
The new FDA regulations will also apply to bakeries, coffee shops, and vending machines. According to the CDC, in order to lose about 1 to 2 pounds per week, you need to reduce your calorie intake by 500 to 1,000 calories. Contact Cooperative Extension for information on nutrition classes. Their number is 404-332-2400. And still to come on Fulton Today, a close-up look at the brand new library in the county's master plan. Stay with us.
watching Fulton Today.
The Aviation Community Cultural Center is expecting to hold more events in 2015. Events are already lined up to take place at the center, which is located on the grounds of the Fulton County Brown Field. Community-based events that promote the welfare of the county are encouraged to hold gatherings there. The multi-purpose room can hold around 300 people.
Certainly, with our two art galleries, Contemporary Gallery and the Gallery of Flight, people who come for meetings and events here get a chance to really learn something about aviation, history, and legacy, and see new works that are being created in tribute to the aviation world.
Since the facility opened in June of 2014, more than 50 events and community meetings have taken place at the facility. Now, to get more information, just call the center directly at 404-612-8600. And finally today, a closer look at the library system's newest branch. The new Palmetto Library is located at 9111 Cascade Palmetto Highway. The 10,000 square foot facility is the second library to open as a part of the Phase 1 of the library building program. The new branch will serve those in the entire Palmetto and Chattahoochee Hills area.
It's certainly going to be good for the children as well as the older adults. We have a large senior population in Palmetto. They spend a lot of time at our senior center, and we look for them to divide their time up between there and here as they come over and enjoy the books, the media, and all that's involved in this facility, and we're certainly proud of it.
The Palmetto Library reflects the look of the community. A nearby barn helps provide inspiration for the overall form of the building. Take a look at all of the activities and e-campus training. Just go to afpls.org. And before we go, our reminder that we want to hear from you in 2015 about the programs and stories that you'd like to know about. Connect with us online, on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis. Thank you for joining us. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County. Happy New Year, everyone.